Welcome to Rare Breed Brotherhood. Not all who wander are lost, but some who walk alone redefine the path. Sigma males aren't your average guys. They're not here to fit in, follow trends, or seek applause. Instead, they live on their own terms, breaking free from the rules of society and carving out unique paths that others can only admire. But here's the thing, being a Sigma male doesn't look the same for everyone. There's no one-size-fits-all mold. Some lead quietly from the shadows, while others thrive in chaos. Some challenge the status quo with their ideas, and others with their silence. Also bear in mind, a Sigma can possess 2 or even all the 10 types we are about to discuss. This video isn't about generic labels or surface-level descriptions. It's about exploring the extraordinary depths of what makes Sigma males so rare, so powerful, and so misunderstood. You'll discover 10 distinct types of Sigma males, each with their own mindset, strengths, and way of moving through the world. Whether you're figuring out where you belong, looking for inspiration, or just curious to understand the Sigma mindset better, this is your moment to dive deeper. Stay tuned, because this video will challenge how you see yourself, and maybe even open your eyes to the Sigma you didn't realize you already are. Let's explore these unique personalities together. Don't miss it. Watch till the end and find out which one that resonates with you most. Let's get started, brothers. Number 1, the intuitive strategist. The intuitive strategist is the master of foresight, a Sigma male whose power lies not in charm or bravado, but in his ability to see the game before anyone even realizes they're playing. His mind operates like a high-powered machine, analyzing situations, dissecting patterns, and predicting outcomes with an accuracy that leaves others in awe. For him, life isn't a chaotic storm to navigate. It's a chessboard, and he's always 10 steps ahead. What makes him truly extraordinary isn't just his analytical ability, but the way he combines it with intuition. While others rely solely on logic or gut feelings, the intuitive strategist has mastered the art of blending both. He can read between the lines, sense what's unsaid, and anticipate moves that others wouldn't even consider. It's not luck. It's a result of constant observation, self-discipline, and an insatiable thirst for understanding how things work. He doesn't waste energy on theatrics or attention-seeking. Flashy moves don't interest him because he knows the real game is won in the shadows, long before the pieces hit the board. He thrives in the realm of preparation, ensuring every decision he makes is deliberate and calculated. People often underestimate him because he doesn't flaunt his intelligence, but that's his secret advantage. By the time they realize his depth, it's already too late. He's thought of every angle, accounted for every possibility, and positioned himself to succeed. For the intuitive strategist, life isn't about being the loudest or the most visible. It's about being the smartest. His mind is his greatest weapon, and he wields it with precision, proving that in a world obsessed with noise, silence paired with strategy is the deadliest combination of all. Number 2, the lone innovator. The lone innovator is a visionary who doesn't wait for permission or validation to create something extraordinary. He thrives in solitude, away from the noise and distractions of groupthink, because his ideas are too bold, too unconventional to be shaped by the limitations of collective approval. He doesn't merely step outside the box. He dismantles it entirely and builds something new that challenges the very foundation of how things are done. While others are content with improving existing systems, the lone innovator questions their necessity altogether. His thought process isn't bound by tradition or comfort. Instead, he dives into uncharted territory, often risking ridicule or rejection, knowing that true innovation is rarely understood at first. His disruptive ideas can feel unsettling, even threatening, to those who cling to the status quo, but that doesn't deter him. He isn't chasing applause or acceptance. He's driven by the sheer exhilaration of creation and the possibility of reshaping the world as we know it. Operating alone doesn't make him a loner, it makes him focused. He knows that isolation provides the clarity and freedom he needs to explore without compromise. Collaboration has its place, but for the lone innovator, solitude is where the magic happens. It's where he turns ideas that seem impossible into blueprints for the future. What sets him apart is his courage. Not everyone can face the uncertainty of venturing into the unknown, but the lone innovator welcomes it because he understands that being ahead of his time often means walking alone. And while his work might not always be appreciated immediately, history has a way of catching up. His ideas don't just change industries, they inspire revolutions, proving that true innovation starts with one bold mind willing to rewrite the rules. Number 3, the shadow leader. The shadow leader embodies a quiet, understated form of leadership that draws people in without him ever needing to demand it. He doesn't chase titles, recognition, or authority. In fact, he often avoids them, knowing they come with distractions and politics that don't interest him. Yet, despite this, people gravitate toward him. It's not because he's loud or commanding, it's because his wisdom, authenticity, and actions make him impossible to ignore. While others fight to be heard, the shadow leader leads by example. His decisions are rooted in logic, empathy, and a deep understanding of the bigger picture. He doesn't waste time with empty words or performative gestures. Instead, his choices speak for themselves, and those around him can't help but respect his clarity and conviction. It's not about charisma, it's about consistency. People know they can count on him, not because he says so, but because he's proven it time and again through his actions. What sets the shadow leader apart is his humility. He doesn't seek to control or dominate. He inspires people to think for themselves and find their own strength. His influence isn't forced, it's earned. Even when he steps into the background, his impact remains, shaping the group or situation long after he's gone. This type of leadership isn't about power, it's about responsibility. The shadow leader understands that being followed comes with a weight he doesn't take lightly. His goal is never to lead, it's to do what's right. Leadership for him is simply a natural consequence of living with integrity, intelligence, and purpose. And that's why his presence is so powerful, because he shows us that real leadership isn't about being in charge, it's about being worth following. Number 3, the nomadic explorer. The nomadic explorer is a man who belongs everywhere and nowhere at once. He rejects the idea of being tied down by societal expectations, choosing instead to live on his own terms. Rootless by design, he drifts through life untethered, collecting experiences, cultures, and perspectives like others might collect possessions. For him, life is not about accumulating things, it's about gaining wisdom, understanding, and the kind of freedom most people only dream of. This Sigma male doesn't settle, not because he's running away from something, but because he's always moving towards something greater. He thrives in the unknown, adapting effortlessly to new environments and challenges. He knows that the more he explores, the more he expands his mind and his soul. And while others see his lifestyle as unstable or unconventional, he knows that the ability to live without being owned by anything or anyone is the purest form of freedom. His journey isn't aimless, it's intentional. Every place he visits, every culture he immerses himself in, teaches him something new about the world and himself. He carries no attachment to material possessions or rigid life plans, allowing him to flow with life's unpredictability rather than resisting it. The nomadic explorer doesn't live for validation or recognition. His rewards are the stories he collects, the lessons he learns, and the deep understanding that comes from seeing the world through 1,000 different lenses. He is the embodiment of freedom. A man who proves that happiness doesn't come from following society's script, but from writing your own. In his rootlessness, he finds his grounding, showing that the greatest adventures in life are the ones that lead you back to yourself. Number 4, the observer of chaos. The observer of chaos is the calm eye in the center of the storm. He doesn't flinch when the world spirals into disarray. Instead, he steps back, his focus sharper than ever. While others panic, react, or collapse under pressure, he watches, studies, and absorbs every detail. To him, chaos isn't something to fear. It's an opportunity, a crucible where strength and resilience are forged. What sets this Sigma apart is his ability to remain composed in the face of uncertainty. He knows that panic only clouds judgment, so he lets the chaos play out, observing patterns others are too frantic to see. Every moment of upheaval is a lesson, every mistake a chance to understand human nature, and every collapse a blueprint for rebuilding something better. He thrives here not because he enjoys destruction, but because he understands that growth often comes from disorder. When the dust finally settles, the observer of chaos emerges, not just unscathed, but transformed. He doesn't simply survive, he adapts, learns, and evolves. Where others see loss, he sees opportunity. Where others see confusion, he finds clarity. And while the world scrambles to recover, he's already 10 steps ahead, armed with a deeper understanding and a sharper sense of purpose. This Sigma male's strength lies in his refusal to let chaos control him. Instead, he masters it, using it as a personal forge to shape himself into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. He doesn't seek out volatility, but when it comes, he welcomes it as a challenge, a chance to grow in ways that stability could never offer. In chaos, he finds clarity. In the storm, he finds himself. Number 5, the silent warrior. The silent warrior is the embodiment of restrained power, a man who understands that true strength doesn't need to be displayed. It's felt. He is not one to seek conflict or indulge in unnecessary battles. Instead, he lives quietly, guided by his principles and unwavering loyalty to those he cares about. But make no mistake, his silence is not weakness, it's discipline. This Sigma male is a defender at heart. He avoids conflict because he values peace. But when something he holds dear is threatened, he transforms. His response is swift, calculated, and devastating. There's no posturing, no empty threats. By the time anyone realizes what's happening, the fight is already over. His actions carry the weight of someone who knows what's worth fighting for and what's not. His silence before action is his deadliest warning. It's a calm that unsettles, a stillness that signals the storm to come. He doesn't waste energy on proving himself or shouting his intentions. Instead, he lets his actions do the talking, and they speak volumes. To him, the only battles worth fighting are the ones that protect his integrity, his values, and the people he loves. What makes the silent warrior so formidable is his precision. He doesn't strike out of anger or ego, but from a place of necessity. His ability to remain calm under pressure allows him to see the situation clearly and act with ruthless efficiency. And when the dust settles, he doesn't gloat or seek recognition. He simply returns to his quiet existence, knowing he did what needed to be done. In a world filled with noise and chaos, the silent warrior stands apart. He shows that true power doesn't shout, it waits. And when it moves, it leaves an impact that can't be ignored. Number 6, the spiritual maverick. The spiritual maverick is a seeker, but not in the way the world expects. He doesn't follow the well-trodden paths of organized religion or subscribe to rigid doctrines. Instead, he forges his own spiritual journey, guided by intuition, reason, and a hunger for deeper truths. To him, spirituality isn't about adhering to rules or seeking approval from a higher authority. It's about understanding the essence of existence and his place within it. This Sigma male is unafraid to question the unquestionable. He challenges traditional beliefs, not out of rebellion, but out of a genuine need to find what feels real. His search for meaning often takes him to unconventional places, ancient texts, scientific theories, nature's rhythms, or even the silence of his own mind. He's as likely to find spiritual insight in the structure of a galaxy as he is in a whispered prayer. What makes him different is his ability to blend logic with transcendence. He doesn't dismiss reason in favor of faith, nor does he let cold rationality strip away wonder. Instead, he bridges the two, finding balance in a world that often demands you pick one side. This frustrates both the devout and the skeptics, who can't place him in a category they understand. But that's the point. He exists outside their definitions, choosing depth over labels. The spiritual maverick knows that his path isn't for everyone, and that's fine by him. His journey is personal, a constantly evolving exploration of life's mysteries. He proves that spirituality doesn't have to be rigid or dogmatic. It can be fluid, questioning, and deeply individual. His search isn't about finding answers that satisfy others. It's about uncovering truths that resonate with him on his own terms, in his own time. Number 7, the polite disruptor. The polite disruptor is a Sigma male who wields influence with a level of tact and grace that most would never associate with rebellion. Unlike the loud, confrontational figures who try to shake things up through forceful opposition, he quietly challenges the status quo with a subtle yet undeniable force. He disrupts systems and expectations without raising his voice or burning bridges. His power lies in his ability to provoke thought and instigate change without creating enemies. This Sigma male understands that true influence isn't about aggression or making enemies. It's about planting seeds of thought that others can't ignore. He challenges norms and questions the traditional ways of doing things, but he does so with an air of humility. His approach is never combative. He offers ideas, presents alternatives, and waits for others to see the value in them. The respect he earns comes not from force, but from his quiet confidence and unwavering commitment to his principles. What makes him so effective is his ability to make his opponents feel seen and heard. Even when he stands in stark contrast to their views, he does so with such a level of politeness and consideration that they can't help but admire him. He doesn't demand change, he simply offers it, letting others come to their own conclusions. And because of this, he never finds himself surrounded by enemies. Instead, he builds respect even from those who disagree with him. The polite disruptor proves that you don't need to be loud, aggressive, or divisive to create real change. Sometimes all it takes is a calm presence, a steady commitment to doing things differently, and the ability to speak the truth in a way that invites respect, not conflict. His disruptive power is subtle, but it's undeniable. He changes the world without ever raising his voice, and that makes him one of the most powerful forces of all. Number 8, the analytical hermit. The analytical hermit thrives in isolation, but not because he's running from the world. He's running towards something deeper. For him, solitude is not a void to be filled. It's a laboratory where his mind can roam freely without distraction. In the quiet, away from the noise of society, he explores the most complex questions and seeks answers that others overlook in the rush of daily life. To him, the silence is a canvas for his ideas, where he can paint with the full range of his thoughts without interruption. This Sigma male is deeply introspective, spending his time uncovering insights that seem to elude everyone else. He doesn't chase external validation or recognition. Instead, he's consumed by the pursuit of understanding. His mind is a labyrinth, constantly dissecting, analyzing, and synthesizing the world around him. The answers he uncovers are profound, often challenging the conventional wisdom that the majority of people accept without question. His solitude is not a sign of isolation, but of focus. While most people are distracted by the external world, the analytical hermit uses his seclusion as a tool to dive into the depths of his own mind. He uncovers truths that shake the foundation of how we see reality, offering fresh perspectives that challenge old paradigms. When he does share his ideas, they aren't just thoughts. They're revelations that can transform the way others think about the world. The analytical hermit proves that true wisdom doesn't come from constant interaction or validation. It comes from the space to think deeply and challenge the status quo. His mind, unclouded by distractions, is a treasure trove of insights that reshape how others perceive the world, one quiet revelation at a time. Number 9, the ethical opportunist. The ethical opportunist is a Sigma male who thrives in a world full of shortcuts and moral compromises, yet remains true to his principles. While others might bend the rules or take the easy way out, he refuses to sacrifice his values. Instead, he navigates the system with intelligence, finding ways to capitalize on opportunities without ever losing sight of his moral compass. His success isn't the result of underhanded tactics or deceit. It's built on a foundation of discipline, integrity, and strategic thinking. What sets him apart is his ability to outsmart the system without selling his soul. He sees opportunities where others are blinded by their shortcuts or impatience. He doesn't need to cut corners to get ahead. He simply leverages his intellect and work ethic to create pathways that others overlook. The ethical opportunist knows that real power doesn't come from exploiting others or manipulating the system. It comes from mastering the system and using it to your advantage in a way that doesn't compromise who you are. His approach may be slower than the cutthroat tactics of those around him, but it's infinitely more sustainable. While others may burn out or face the consequences of their shortcuts, he builds success on his terms, one calculated step at a time. The ethical opportunist proves that you don't need to compromise your morals to succeed. You just need the discipline, foresight, and integrity to play the game smarter than everyone else. In the end, his success is a reflection of who he is, not just what he's achieved. Number 10, the reluctant hero. The reluctant hero is a Sigma male who doesn't crave the spotlight, nor does he chase validation. He's not motivated by fame, glory, or recognition. But when a crisis looms and others are paralyzed by fear or indecision, he steps up. Not because he wants the world to cheer for him, but because doing nothing would betray his core principles. There's an innate drive within him to solve problems and face challenges head-on, even if it means putting himself in harm's way. His heroism doesn't come from grand gestures or heroic speeches. It comes from a quiet, unshakable sense of duty. He doesn't need to be asked to act, he simply does, often without anyone noticing. His decisions are guided by a strong moral compass. He can't stand by and watch things go unresolved, especially when he knows he has the ability to make a difference. The reluctant hero doesn't seek to prove anything. He's not interested in being celebrated or admired for his actions. He does what's right, not for applause, but because it aligns with who he is. His motives are pure, not driven by ego, but by a desire to see things made right. While others may hesitate, the reluctant hero steps forward with quiet confidence, knowing that this is what needs to be done. And when the storm has passed, he slips back into the shadows, content to have done the right thing without ever seeking acknowledgement. His strength lies not in his desire to be a hero, but in his unwavering commitment to what is just. He proves that true heroism isn't about seeking the title, it's about answering the call when no one else will. As I wrap up, at the end of the day, being a Sigma male isn't about fitting into a predefined category, it's about embracing the traits that set you apart from the crowd. Whether you identify with the lone innovator, the quiet rebel, or any other type we've explored, one thing is clear. You have the power to carve your own path. Sigma males don't seek approval from others because they've already found their worth. Their strength lies in independence, and they trust their instincts to guide them, no matter how unconventional their journey may seem. Embrace the qualities that make you unique, and remember, there's no one-size-fits-all formula for success. Whether you fit into one of these types or see pieces of yourself in multiple ones, know that your authenticity is your greatest asset. If you're watching this, it's likely you've always felt different, and that difference is what makes you a Sigma. Your quiet confidence, inner strength, and refusal to conform are what set you apart and make you powerful. Keep evolving, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep being yourself. You're not just a Sigma male, you're a force to be reckoned with. Stay true to your path because the world needs more individuals like you. Thank you for watching. See you in our next video. God bless you.